Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 210. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, the magnificent Mike.
Hello, welcome. Great interview we have today with Mr. David Hazan, and yes, he is the writer of Mad Cave Studios Nottingham, the book that is getting a third printing, as we found out. So check that out. He woke up very early in Australia to do that interview with us, so it would be a disservice to the man to not sit there and listen to it. He's a very cool dude, so stick around for that today.
Awesome book, by the way. Awesome.
Oh yeah, really good stuff. Yeah, it's probably one of the coolest. I mean, since Robin Hood Men in Tights, it's the coolest twist on the Robin Hood story. It's hard to top that, you know.
How did we not talk Robin Hood Men in Tights with him?
I don't know.
We failed as interviewers.
We failed. I mean, we didn't talk about it with it. Sometimes you just don't go there. But you know, oh god, I love that movie. Now I want to watch it. So anyway, yeah.
I gotta think this is terrible for audio listeners, but you know, we got a YouTube. Check it out.
Right.
I got this poster that I'm gonna frame tomorrow.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
I don't know if people can see it or not, but yeah. So I now have it's Jack Kirby.
Yep.
And it's got a bunch of his creations. We got Mr. Miracle. We got Darkseid. Thing. He's holding a cap shield. I love this poster. I'm going to put a link to the artist in the description.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I got it through Redbubble, so the artist could probably get some more purchases, maybe.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I might get one too. Yeah, before we I guess I'll save it for the movie news. David S. Sandberg being a troll on Reddit is actually kind of hilarious. But yeah, should we just jump into the news? We have such a cool interview today and not waste anybody. Do you have any stories for me or no? I mean, Mortal Kombat comes out in like 5 days, so.
Mortal Kombat comes. I've been super busy. Yeah. I did find time to watch that Tiger Woods documentary. Really good.
Oh. Yeah.
If you got 3 hours to waste.
Nope. Not
I've somehow found 3 hours to waste. I don't know.
That's awesome. I mean, yeah. Sometimes you just got to sit down and watch those things.
Yeah. I'll be all over the internet soon because I'm guesting on a bunch of stuff that's already recorded. But yeah, cool. Other than that, just busy week.
Yeah. I've been moving my comics around, putting them in storage and stuff like that, and I pulled out a bunch of the Invincible issues, and I'm like, I should probably finish this collection before these issues go way up in price. So I've been surfing eBay this weekend, and I'll tell you, it's hurting to see like issues that are like issue like 50s and 60s of Invincible go for like $20 a piece now. I'm just like, man, I used to complain about these costing like $5 to $6 a piece. As much as I joke about being a speculator, I really messed this one up.
I was listening to somebody talk about this though recently, and they were saying how like there's got to be a tipping point for all this because basically what they're doing was, I don't remember the guy's name, but he started a company where he's appraising collections and selling them for people.
Yeah.
So the idea is, Grandpa Mike passes away, he leaves his collections to Mike Jr. And Mike Jr. doesn't give a shit about comics, especially Invincible. Right. And so he wants to get rid of them.
All right, relax. I'll tell you right now, I would not be willing that to that shitty grandson. Holy crap. He doesn't deserve them.
So he goes to this guy, he appraises them, sells them for him, and tries to make it easier on people. And he was talking about it. He goes, at a certain point, like this has to plummet because there's no way it can keep going the way it is.
Right.
So that's my hope, is that eventually it just plummets.
Eventually you'll get a first appearance of Superman for like $50.
I don't think that one will, but he was talking like there's a issue of Wonder Woman where it's the first time that they explain that she can fly using air currents. And that shot from like a $1 bin comic to like a $200-$300 comic.
Oh wow!
Because of Woman 84.
Right.
Like he's like sooner or later that shit has to stop. Like people can't keep falling for this.
Right. Yeah, and then you get the weird stuff of like, the first pages of Invincible were from like a Masters of the Universe comic or something like that, and it's like,
Oh,
so that was his first appearance. Blah blah. It's like, no.
first appearance Spawn was in the previews catalog.
Yeah, right. And it's like, just take the comics and whatever. I'm just salty about it over here. But anyways, we'll jump into the news. This is a comic podcast to celebrate comics, not to, get salty about them. So as we do every episode, I think. So it doesn't take much. I love
For the
comics.
passion.
Yep. HBO Max's original series Doom Patrol is adding some Z-list characters to its upcoming season. Uh, oh boy, the Dead Boy detectives are premiering in the next season, and are being portrayed by Sebastian Croft and Ty Tennant. Yeah, I'm just saying the second season was even like, this does not surprise me because the second season we got like Sex Patrol, in one of the episodes, and I mean, you didn't think it would work, but somehow they're making they're making the wackiness of Doom Patrol work, and it's pretty freaking awesome.
I keep saying I gotta jump back in Doom Patrol because when they announced Flex Mentallo,
Yeah.
I should have been all over that shit.
Oh yeah, the Flex
but
Mentallo episode with like Danny in the street was like the turning point for me. Where like, wow, they're really just going all out. And then there is an episode with the Sex Patrol where they're like, they have like a almost like a mystery machine. They go around like they're like the Ghostbusters of like sex demons or something, and it's hilarious. Like,
So I'm just gonna throw this out there, everybody. They're slowly making their way through Grant Morrison's run of Doom Patrol.
mhm.
What follows right after Grant Morrison's run for Doom Patrol?
Oh, we know it's Codpiece for sure. Yep.
So now I'm gonna go watch this show because we should all support it so they can do Codpiece.
Yep. I didn't even know if he's a Z-list character. He might
That's
not
an
even fall.
A-list character.
Yeah,
like,
A-list character.
Like
Right.
that's what makes the money at DC.
If he's not the season 4 villain, like what the hell do you have that show for?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, can we continue the show after the Grant Morrison run? They're like, I don't know. They flip through the pages and they hold it up like, oh, I think we have something.
How do we shut these two guys up on the internet?
Yeah.
Just put it in the TV show. Just do it already.
Yeah, just stop. Anyways, time for some more Marvel Cinematic Universe mutant rumors. According to sources, Disney Plus is working on a Wolverine series to introduce the character and his mythos to the MCU. The series is said to be an anthology in which every season will be about a different part of Wolverine's history, starting with his time in the Weapon X program. So you're getting another origin story, Chris. Do we need that? Do we need like the season all about his Weapon X program, or?
That's the only part of this I don't like.
Yeah, like we don't need a whole season of that again. We've seen it so many times.
I'm hoping that part of the this is all rumors, so who knows? But I'm hoping that part of the rumor is like they start off like maybe the first episode or two is about Weapon X.
Yeah.
Like I'd be more interested in this if it was like 6-hour-long episodes, and each episode is a different thing. So like the first one, you do Weapon X because get it out of the way.
Right.
And then the next one, like it's Wolverine, World War II, and then like just go on throughout and like hit different historical notes with Wolverine involved.
Yeah.
I would be more interested in that. If the whole season is Weapon X, I'm gonna get halfway through this. I'll probably love it because I mean Disney Plus MCU has been awesome.
Yeah.
But I do feel like halfway through Weapon X, I'll be like, okay, like just have him run through the hall with a thing on his head. We get it.
Give us the hallway scene, end it. Yeah, and I mean, I don't find it interesting because more than likely with the Weapon X origin, we're not going to see him interacting with other mutants, and that's like the fun part, right? Like, yeah, Wolverine's cool, but like he's got to interact with some other mutants at some point.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, if this is, hey, we're gonna do a couple. Let's say we do 3 X-Men movies a year, 2 X-Men movies a year. We do an X-Force, we do an X-Men, and then like this is another thing. So like Wolverine's in X-Force, and then he also has his own TV show.
Right.
Like that would be better too, because then at least we get like sassy back talking Wolverine in the movie.
Yeah.
And then we get cranky helmet head Wolverine in the TV show.
Yeah.
Neat idea though.
Yeah. I think I mean, yeah, the MCU hasn't done us wrong yet, so, and we'll talk about that in a second. After we talk about Invincible. Uh,
Did you catch the cameo?
the cameo. Well, okay, so I texted people about this today, this week, because there was an Ezra Miller cameo, and hold on. There is I can't remember. There was Ezra
Roland.
Miller, right?
Yeah, Roland.
I don't know. Who was it?
Roland. Rick and
Roland.
Morty.
Oh yeah, Rick and Morty. Yeah, that's yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So that yeah, that was the two. It was Justin Roiland, who plays Rick in Rick and Morty, and they had him playing a drunk college student. So it was like pretty much Rick.
Yeah,
Like,
it fit.
yeah, like he started shouting at the girls. You're like, holy shit, is that Rick for like? And then they come out with Ezra Miller as D.A. Sinclair, which is like I was texting people like, how do they keep affording all these big names on this show? It's insane. I couldn't believe it. I did we know about the Ezra Miller? I can't even remember. There's
I
been
think
so
we
many.
did because I mean Sinclair's been throughout the show.
Right.
It doesn't sound like Ezra Miller. It's
Yeah.
weird. Like because I went back, like I saw that too, and it clicked to me that Ezra Miller's playing Sinclair. I'm like, so I had just come to terms with Sinclair last episode, like kind of liking his voice actor, and then I saw it when I was watching on Prime, and I was like, it doesn't sound like Ezra Miller though.
No, no. Like those are so I think are you getting it mixed up with um so there's Cecil. Cecil is the
Oh, I'm mixing
yeah.
Cecil Sinclair.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
D.A. Sinclair is the mad scientist that Cecil like that's why at the end of the episode they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll deal with him because he's even though he's crazy, he was pretty smart, right? Like I built these robots to go
Oh,
toe to toe." Yeah.
so ignore my stupidity, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't even think that sounded like Ezra Miller.
Oh, the D.A. Sinclair guy? Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird
Yeah.
too. So you know what happened was, as I paused it because I was like, "That's Rick from Rick and Morty,"
Hmm.
and I think when I paused it, Cecil showed up,
Yeah,
and I
right.
saw Ezra Miller, and so wires
Yeah.
got crossed.
Yeah, that's weird. They do that nice thing on Prime where it like shows who's speaking, but also it's delayed. So it's like never who's in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have Walt Goggins does Cecil, and I mean that dude has been in so much stuff.
Yeah.
Uh
So do you think that I feel like Kirkman just called people up and were like, "Hey, like you missed out on Walking Dead. Like y'all told me I was nuts,
right,
and
right.
look what happened there. Come be a part of this Invincible thing, and this
Yep.
time you can be on the ground floor, and I'm gonna pay you
Hmm.
peanuts, and we can do this really cool cartoon."
Yeah, okay,
Because that's the
peanuts.
only thing that makes sense in my head.
And I mean, it could be a whole COVID thing too. It's really easy for these actors to like record things from home,
Yeah.
probably.
Well, that and maybe Bezos is just like, I have enough money. Let's make Kirkman's dream come true.
Yeah.
Who
Which
knows?
every episode it's been amazing. You know, we get the robots. This is all stuff that happens in issue 7. So it's kind of jumping around between because like or issue 8 because like 7 or 8 is when you know the first appearance of the Guardians of the Globe, and so they're kind of like jumping around between issues because I remember that cover of issue 8, I think it is, where you see those robots on the cover of the issue. um but man, I mean, you get the whole like them going to college and his best friend realizing that he's invincible, can't say anything. And you get the whole like Cecil's like, yeah, this guy was crazy, but they're gonna use D.A. Sinclair to make those. Remember the zombie invincibles or the
Hmm.
like the evil Voltrumites to well, they think they're good to fight invincible if they needed to. And then we have the whole B story with dude the scene with Omni-Man drinking beer on the roof with the guy who makes the costumes. That was like, oof. Is he gonna kill him or what? That was pretty tense scene, I think.
that whole subplot is getting real tense because
Yeah.
then, Mark's mom, who's like just a badass
Yeah.
because she's just a regular chick and
Yep.
standing up to the most powerful being and what we think is the universe.
Mhm. Yeah.
And everything's starting to unravel for Omni-Man, and like people are figuring it out, and he knows it, but he doesn't want them to know that he knows it.
Right.
And he's interacting with them in these moments. It's getting real tense, but
Yeah.
I love because they did the whole Mark's friend is in love with this dude from college,
Hmm.
and then that dude turns into a killer robot thing.
Yep.
And I love the way that played out. I thought it was done really well. Um, and I don't remember Mark's relationship with the high school girlfriend being as intense as it is in the show.
Yeah, and I mean, they're almost. After this episode, it's almost like it's kind of finished at this point.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I wonder because it feels like they're gonna flirt with this. Does Mark give up his secret identity thing?
Yeah.
So we can get a little strange. And
Yeah. Yep.
I'm liking that. I like that whole dynamic there of like, he's a high schooler and he thinks that this is the person who he's going to be with for the rest of his life. And spoiler alert, everybody, you're not.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and he's trying to play with those emotions and figure out what's right and everybody's kind of giving him their advice, but once again, he's a teenager. He's not listening to any of them. So I'm loving everything going on with this show. I think it's hitting so many great, not only the Invincible vibes from the comics that I love, but just great life moments that we can all kind of connect with, which is
Yeah.
what Invincible really was at the end of the day.
Right. Right. And then the scary part of Omni-Man punching the wall because his wife has found out the truth about him. And then, the end with the whole I can't think of the hero's name, but the kids digging up the dead body and the Mahler twins are there to clone him. So we are getting him coming back from the dead. So it
Yeah.
seems. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even get into like Robot, and him and
Right.
the Mahler twins and his
Right. Oh
moment
yeah.
there.
Yep,
His
working with them.
relationship with Monster Girl and how
Yeah.
that's progressing.
Yep, there's a lot going on now. So
Yeah.
we're in the thick of it. Love the show. It's hard for me to see where the season's going to end. I don't know how many episodes we're getting this season. I think or maybe we're getting 8 episodes. So, a couple more, a few more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, either way, it's awesome.
Hopefully it keeps going because
Yeah.
I'm really loving it.
Yep. And then another show that Chris is madly in love with this week was Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 5. One more episode to go. And man, what a tease to leave us on. At the I almost wish I skipped it and waited to watch the last two, you know?
Yeah, so
Where do we even start? I mean, they start off right off with the the Walker bullshit of you can't be Captain America anymore. You killed someone.
yeah, so like, he gets the consequences there.
Right.
And it just echoes back to Captain America, the First Avenger.
Yep.
Where the scientist said, like, it brings out the good in you, it also brings out the bad in you. And, Walker's was trained to be. I think I said this last week, where Walker is exactly what the government would pick to be a super soldier.
Right.
And it's the wrong pick. Because Walker's a trained soldier whose entire life has been war and death.
Yep.
And this isn't a critique on soldiers, support the military and all, but that's not somebody who you would want in this fictitious world to have that serum floating through them, because all the issues that come with those things kind of bubble out, and that's kind of the point of U.S. Agent. Right. So I loved all that. I loved that Elaine Bennis showed up and just came out of nowhere.
Julia Louise Dreyfus. I could not see anyone besides Veep because she's a basic at Veep, but I guess she's like, what's her character? A handler or something like that? Or
she leads a group of soldier or spies for Shield in the comics, if I remember correctly. It's not Ramboa, that's the other.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's who she, and allegedly she was supposed to show up in, or is supposed to show up in Black Widow.
Um, okay. Because her character was awesome and really badass.
Yeah, she's such a like BZ list character in Marvel. I'm trying to remember who she played though.
I'm just I and like I almost remember that like purple streak in her hair too. Like 'cause she had like her hair dye. I don't know. But either way, I mean, it was like a pleasant surprise because like they show the heel walking down the hallway. The heel is walking down the hallway, and you're like, who the hell is this character? And it happens to be her. So, but I
Fontaine, that's who she is.
who?
Valerie Fontaine. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so who knows? I mean, she could be connected to the Hydra, she could be connected to Shield, she could
Yeah.
be connected to Sword, who fucking knows? But
Yeah.
she's obviously government of some sort.
hmm And then I mean, we get the whole the bromance between Falcon and Winter Soldier this episode of like rebuilding the boat together. That was awesome. I mean, the fight scene with them and getting the shield back was awesome.
Yeah.
And him ripping the wings off was crazy. Walker ripping the wings off was so crazy. And then I like the whole like handing Zemo over to Wakandans, and then they pretty much give Sam his new suit that we haven't seen yet because they're like, oh, we put it on, and then roll credits. And then this episode has an after credit scene,
Yeah.
which none of them have had before, but it's Walker building his own Captain America shield.
Yeah, which I can credit this joke to our friend Joe, but built his own shield with blackjack and hookers.
Yep,
Um,
pretty much.
so the sequence of them building the boat was good, but what I really loved was the sequence where they're just kind of bouncing the shield back and forth.
Yeah.
It's right before the like, you gotta have a montage scene.
Yeah, the montage.
Uh,
The training montage. Do some push-ups, and you could be Captain America. Yeah.
but them just talking and being real with each other and like kind of getting past the quippiness and getting past some of the bullshit was just refreshing. I really liked that.
Yeah.
And I like that Bucky's the one that like tells the Wakandans like I have one more thing I need from you.
Right.
And obviously that's gonna be Sam's Captain America suit. I don't think it could be anything else.
Right.
Everything there was great. And then so Walker going back, building a new shield.
With his like Medal of Honor in it.
Yeah, so this is obviously him. This is his last stretch of like he's gonna show up as Captain America and fight against Sam, Captain America.
Yep.
And then I think the season's gonna end with him being in the black suit.
Yep.
Because he'll show up again somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It all fits. Like Walker in the comics is a soldier who was given the serum, was told he was gonna be Captain America, and he went too far. And so he went off on his own and said, okay, I'll just be US agent. And I just am loving seeing this happen and exist.
Yeah, and I guess the only thing I have an issue with is that shield isn't going to hold up to vibranium that he's making, right? It should just fall apart right away if it hits the vibranium shield. Is it my only thought? Like
you'd think, yeah.
Right.
I don't know how they're gonna explain that.
Yeah, that's the only comic book science like I'm holding them to because they've been so like good about explaining vibranium throughout the. But that's just one little quip in all of it. So it was all great. I just want the less. I want to see the season finale.
I'm so ready, and because I want to see Sam in the suit.
Yeah.
And I want to see, do they go full U.S. agent with Walker, or does he just show up in his Cap suit again?
Right.
Because I think one way or another we get U.S. agent. I just don't know if it's going to be here and now.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. All right, movie news. Before we talk about Shazam, Yeah, Shazam added another actress to the upcoming sequel. Lucy Liu, pretty huge name, is going to be the villain Calypso, who is Apollo's daughter. So yeah, we're getting, Fury of the Gods. It really is. She's directly related to the gods themselves. A little more trolling from David F. Sandberg, the director of the Shazam movie. There's a subreddit called DC Entertainment Universe Leaks that I go on quite often to like people will share scripts and things that they and like set photos for movies that are filming and stuff. And someone posted a video of iPhone walking into the Shazam writing studio and then going to David Sandberg's office, opening the whole script to Shazam, flipping to the last page, and it gives a whole conversation between the Shazam family, and they're in like this old Hall of Justice, and they're talking about like there's a Batman cowl, there's like all these symbols of the Justice League, and they're like the real Justice League was us all along or some shit. It was some really awesome ending to the movie. I don't know if it's real or not, but like it was the whole heart and like family thing happening again. And the person who posted it was David himself. So number one, I mean, the dude trolls and watches the Entertainment Leaks uh, subreddit. He's on there and he's commented and like clarified some things. So I mean, he loves that the fans are like making theories and stuff like that. He posts a video of like the biggest leak you can get is walking into the dude's office and sharing a video of the script. Um, but you also know that a lot of stuff has been pulled down, and so you know that like the legal team is actually trolling or going through that subreddit as well. So it's like corporate DC and the writers and directors are aware that that these things are happening, and it's like it was just funny that he trolled everybody and sent like a video of the script. Everybody was like, "Wait, that's the director posting on here." So that was pretty awesome. Um,
That's interesting.
yeah, yeah, I think he's just happy that people want to watch this movie. I don't know, he's just celebrating with them. Uh, yeah, this is really good news. Alfred Molina has confirmed in an interview with Variety that he is indeed reprising his role as Doc Ock and then Tom Holland's Spider-Man. So yes, take my money.
And it sounds like they're going to de-age him, so he's going to look like he did back then.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm down for this.
I'm reliving my childhood. Here we go.
I think this means that a lot of the other rumors are true as well. Maybe not the other Spideys showing up, but at least the Jamie Foxx one.
Oh yeah,
And some of the other stuff. So
it's hard for me to believe that Jamie Foxx has kept quiet this long about it.
yeah, it's strange, but
Yeah, maybe they paid him a buttload of money or something. But all right. Well, anyways, let's get to this awesome interview we have with David Hazan, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
hey, we're back.
Yeah, so check it out. Nottingham 1 and 2, issue 3 coming in May. Can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah. Last thing I would expect to be saying is that I'm really into a Robin Hood book, so
Yeah,
that
same
should
here.
say a lot
Yeah.
there.
Same here, dude. Yeah, it's really cool. So check it out. Comic news. Marvel has announced that they're bringing back the comic series Amazing Fantasy, which is wild. Writer slash artist Carrie Andrews or Carr Andrews. Carr Andrews will be the creator tasked with bringing back the series that introduced Spider-Man back in 1962. This new version will not be a series of one-shot sci-fi stories like the original, but instead will feature 3 time-displaced Marvel heroes during specific points of their history. And the first 3 heroes to be spotlighted are Spider-Man, surprise, Black Widow, and Captain America. Carr said that the series it'll highlight different heroes. I mean, I guess that's kind of interesting, right? And I would hope they're gonna do some more bizarre heroes, but I guess you got to start off strong with heroes that everybody loves for issue 1, right?
Yeah, and I almost think like you got to do like Spider-Man as a constant.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Because Amazing Fantasy and Spider-Man are so connected.
Right, it is Spider-Man, so
That said, I'm down to check this out. It sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah, I might check it out as well because it's not anything within continuity that I have to know about.
Yeah.
Always down for that. Um, Skybound is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. Robert Kirkman has announced a weekly miniseries to celebrate the past and future of Skybound publishing. This is kind of crazy. The series is titled Skybound X and will feature stories from Robert Kirkman, Chip Zdarsky, Donny Cates, and many more. But do you really need any more than that? I mean, come on. The two stories that are making headlines are both by, you guessed it, Robert Kirkman. The first story is an alternate timeline Walking Dead story that will feature Rick Grimes and introduce Clementine to the comics for the first time with art by Ryan Ottley. Holy shit. This just keeps better and better. And Clementine is from the Telltale series.
Video games, yeah.
Right? This is getting wild. The second will be a final issue of the series and is a secret project from Kirkman and Jason Howard, the artist of Super Dinosaur. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, the Chip story is taking place in Stillwater, the Donnie stories in Rednecks.
Ugh.
They have a Giga story in there. There's so many cool things, and it's like an oversized big thing.
Yeah.
The first issue's cover art, which will probably be the thumbnail for this,
Yep.
is Rick holding a lightsaber with a fucking invincible mask on. So it's they're diving all in. I love the idea, and to keep people buying each issue, this Rick Grimes story, which I think was Rick Grimes 3000 was the title of it.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
That's going to be in each issue, so you're going to get a different chapter of it in each issue. So I love this. This is so cool.
This is fun. This is fun as hell. Like this is how you do an anniversary, right?
And I love that Kirkman has really pushed to do like fun things in comics. Like when he did Die 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 and he just dropped it.
Right.
Or I know people were mad about this, but I loved it when they just finished Walking Dead and said it's done.
Yeah.
Like did no warning whatsoever. Stuff like that. I love. He's trying to bring some surprise and some fun to all this, and I really want to know what that secret project with him and Jason Howard is.
Yeah, I need that cover with the lightsaber, and Rick. It's amazing.
Yeah. That needs to be a poster as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then just looking at Skybound X #2 has a story from Birthright on the cover.
Yeah.
And I can't even. Daniel Warren Johnson. Oh my god. Daniel Warren Johnson too is involved in this. Like, and then you have covers by Cliff Rathburn from Walking Dead. Like, oh man.
Yeah. So, you read any Skybound stuff? This sounds like something you're gonna want to check out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And what have we been reading this week? Let's talk about that. I'm sure we both read a couple overlaps.
Well, so I'll start with beginning of the show. I said I was a busy week.
Yep.
That show was in the comics I read.
Oh, okay.
So we probably didn't overlap on anything. Okay. Is what I'll say.
Well, let's just. I got one from last week that I caught up on. This is Patron #1. This is the Steve Orlando and the Piazzalunga art. This is a Ahoy Comics book that I meant to read last week. I really liked this story. It was a Superman style hero that's controlled by several different. So it's a story starts off with the Superman has this like final battle with his arch villain. And he kills the villain, and he supposedly dies, but like comes back miraculously. Well, it's because they've replaced him with like an android that's just as strong, but he has to be controlled, almost like something like Pacific Rim, where you need to like tap in like with your brain or something like that.
Is this Project Patron?
Oh yeah, sorry, Project Patron. Yeah,
it's Aftershocks, not Ahoy.
Aftershock.
Just for the record.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got my indie comics mixed up. Yeah. But it's interesting because like each of the people that are part of the group all have different skills. Like one's best hand-to-hand combat, one is best at like knowledge of the field, like scientists. So each one will take over. And there's like a commander in chief kind of that does most of the missions. Well, at the end of the issue, he ends up dying in this in like the interface as they're hiring someone new to like take over. So that's kind of where they're left off, and it's really cool. I think it's a really cool concept. Um, Batman the Detective #1. This is the Tom Taylor, Andy Kubert book. Uh, this is the Batman story I've been waiting for about I don't know, 5 years. DC, where have you been with this shit? Uh, this is how you do a Batman story. I don't even need to say anything about it. Just like read it. It is if the Dark Knight Batman, if you know, if the Dark Knight Batman had the realization like, yeah, I'm old and grumpy and everyone around me has died, but why do I need to stay in Gotham because I've literally just ruined everyone's lives here? I'm gonna go somewhere else. And he ends up going to England to investigate a plane crash from Gotham to England, where we find Knight and Squire. So we haven't seen them since like Batman Incorporated with Grant Morrison, I believe. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, wow, I haven't heard those in a while.
Yeah. So right off the bat, also we get things like Batman gets greeted by the Gentleman Ghost, and he was putting on these ghost gauntlets, and he's like, yeah, these are pretty much, and I mean, the attitude of him is Dark Knight Returns Batman. He just does not give a shit. So he's like, yeah, these are from John Constantine. He doesn't like to use his fists, but I've never had a problem with it. And he just beats the shit out of Gentleman Ghost because he has like these super like supernatural gloves. um, the villains are these like white Batman suits that are like mercenaries, and he comes to the realization by the end of the issue that someone is the whole plane that blew up or was crashed and everyone died. It was all people that he had saved throughout the years. So someone is going and killing all the people that Batman has saved their lives. Yeah, it's a crazy, and he's a detective. Like he's got these gadgets. He's a detective. He's old. He's a badass. This is the Batman book. This is it. Like it doesn't get much better than this. I don't know what else to say. Tom Taylor blew it out of the water with this book.
Yeah, this is what I will be reading tonight because I was really excited for it. But
Yeah, you can text me after you read it because I like I couldn't get over how good it was. Like it was so refreshing to have a Batman story. And then like yeah, what if Batman just didn't like it's not that he doesn't care about Gotham anymore. He cares so much that he realized he hadn't done shit in like so many years and there's nothing tying him to Gotham. You know, Robin's dead, Alfred's dead. You know, the commissioner's changed, so like and now there's this plane crash in England that is related to Gotham. Why can't he leave and go investigate it? And he does. So, uh, it's only 6 issues. Please give me more of this shit because I need more of that. Less of everything else that's going on with Batman. Um, yeah. Okay. Now that I'm done gushing about that, Nottingham #1 and 2. This we talked about this in the interview. This is a noir book, uh, and the great thing about it is it's a Robin Hood tale, but you don't know who to root for because, like I said in the interview, you always know who to root for in the Robin Hood. Steals from the rich, gives to the poor. Well, now they're not stealing from the rich; they're killing tax collectors. So, a little bit of a different twist there. And the characters are great. And I describe the main character, the sheriff of Nottingham, as a hound from Game of Thrones, who was one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones. And I mean, there's similarities in the appearance too. It's the art is fantastic. It's gritty. It's not something I thought I would have enjoyed hearing the description, but I really do enjoy it. And I mean, come on,
yeah.
it's sold out to printing, so.
And I love because we have such a fantasy version of what like old England was and what medieval times were. And I love that this is just like dirty, gross.
Yep.
Everybody's a person. So like you
Yep.
say you don't know who to root for. That's because people are imperfect.
Right. Right.
And there's so many great things to
Hmm.
do here. And some of the flashbacks that the sheriff has,
Oh yeah.
going back to the Crusades, like
Yep.
that hit me really in the right place.
Yeah.
Book's awesome. Go buy it.
Superman 30. This is the Philip Kennedy Johnson and Godlewski on art. Did you read this?
Oh.
I'll just say it's a good Superman story. I don't know where in the continuity it happens from the first issue, um, but we get like Superman being engulfed by this like symbiote in the beginning of the issue, and then we find out like, and then it's like, oh, here we go. Flashback to the start of the story. He goes to help an alien race that he has ties with, that had issues with the symbiote. Find out this like symbiote style creature is still alive. Um, Wraps that story up. The second story, I was a little upset these issues cost $4.99 for these issues because they include a second story in the back. This is the one time that it was worth the extra money because it's an ambush bug story. And the ambush bug story it's interesting. There's like they're trying to find out about these villains. And ambush bug is just wild and wacky, and I can't really say any more than that. I mean, it was just a great story. The art was kind of crazy. But you don't see a lot of ambush bug. I mean, I would just give him his own series because it was a lot of fun. So I don't really understand what it's doing in the Superman book yet, but I think we'll find out. But yeah, I had Rorschach this week. I didn't read Rorschach this week. I know Chris dropped off that book like a while ago, right?
Well, I still read it.
Are you still read it?
I
Okay.
just didn't pick. I didn't read it this week yet. It's not
I
on the top of my list anymore.
Yeah, I have it. I haven't read it yet, and I might just wait till the series wraps up, just because like I've kind of realized that I only really enjoy the Watchmen if Alan Moore himself is is gonna write that. Is my realization over the years. So, and I really want something to happen out of this book, and every issue I've kind of it hasn't done it yet, so I've held it off for now. I read a lot of other stuff instead, so you know,
I think Tom King's getting too cute for his own good.
yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I had real quick Thor number 14, which is the end of the Prey storyline.
Yep.
It's really good. It's unfortunate that that's Nick Klein's last issue on Thor, and they're bringing a new artist. I really didn't like that, but the basics here is like Thor kind of takes up and says, Odin tries to jump in and say like, I'm going to take care of this, and Thor says, no, you're not king anymore. I'm king. Fuck off, old man. And he beats the crap out of the villain here. So it was good, but it was just a wrap up. Big Bang fight him that ended with a very interesting twist to it that I don't really want to give away.
Okay.
And then What If comics are back, everybody, with Spider-Man Spider's Shadow #1. This was Chip Zdarsky doing basically what if Spider-Man became Venom. I was listening to an interview with Chip recently where he's talking about it, and what they want to do with these is... I love What If, but what If was one-shot stories that were a lot of exposition. Like, Spider-Man becomes Venom, and then this happens, and that happens, and this happens, and that happens, and then this is where it ends up. And what they want to do with these new What Ifs is tell stories and do like 4-issue series that really tell an actual story and get in depth.
Yep.
So this first issue was him, like, he just got back from Secret Wars, and he's got the symbiote suit. He's not quite sure what it is. And it's that moment where he has to go to Reed, and they figure out what the suit is and how it's doing things. He finds out it's alive, and he has a run-in with Hobgoblin that doesn't go well. I like the issue. I like how it took those events that I'm familiar with from Spider-Man and then diverged at a certain point to create its own story arc here. And I think what he did here was a little safe. It was a little Force Awakens, if you will.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But I see why he's doing it, and it's they're trying to usher What If back and try to do something different with it. So I'm down for the ride.
Okay, cool.
To go along with Falcon and Winter Soldier, I read Black Hammer Visions #3. Now you ask, how does that connect? The whole story here, this is once again Chip Zdarsky, everybody. The whole story here is that Abraham Slam has been retired. He's no longer Abe Slam. He's just a regular dude doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the government wants another Abraham Slam. So they introduce this guy called the Slam. And Abe goes back out and is like, I'm not, this dude's, he's carrying a gun. He's just beating people up for no reason.
Yep.
This ain't my legacy. I'm moving on. And it's all about Abe kind of coming back out of retirement, and he tries to fight this guy. And the woman he's with, his wife, girlfriend, whatever she is very pissed at him because she's told him, like, that's not you. That's not your legacy. You don't have to worry about that. You're here now, and you promised me you weren't going back to that. So there's a relationship thing there. This was hands down the best Black Hammer Visions issue. This is what I wanted out of the series.
Awesome.
It's really great. And then I read Department of Truth Volume 1. I talked about issue 1, and I didn't really pick up the series. I decided to trade weight on it. It's really good. They get into... So the first issue, we talked about it. It's about flat earthers and what happened there and how he gets in the Department of Truth. And then they kind of get into some really, like, they show you what the Department of Truth is. And there's a guy that's been there since the 60s, and he wears a tinfoil hat. And there's somebody that's always watching the news to see what new conspiracy is going to pop up. And there's somebody who's the new, like, tech nerd that's there. And it's this really crazy, creepy world that they've created. Okay. And he dives really deep into the whole... what did they call it in the 70s? It was the Satan. Shit, there's a word for it, but it's when everybody was afraid of, like, Satan, and we find out that our lead character was came in contact with one of these devils, and it was a part of what the Department of Truth was all about, where people started to believe that, like, Satan was taking over their children and, like, influencing them, and our lead character had that problem. So now he wants to go and really investigate that. And okay. I love the series. I thought it was really well written, really well done. The art is very stylized, so anyone out there that's not a fan of, like, stylized art, and what I mean by that is this is art you would never see in a Superman book or a Cap book or any mainstream book. It's its own style, its own thing. And I dug that as well. I thought it fit the atmosphere of the world that was created here. And hats off to Tinian. I mean, I never thought I'd be this thrilled about a Tinian book, but here we are. And then I want to end with my last book because I promised it to our former guest of the show and dare I say, friend.
Oh,
Derek Robertson. I got my Space Beaver issue #1.
Nice.
Derek was right. You can see the art there. You can see the Derek that he becomes.
Yep.
Everything's really interesting. Some of the designs are simplistic in nature. The story is rough. And let's just say I'm glad that Derek didn't make this and then give up, because I challenge anybody that's a fan of his, that's read Transmet, that's read Boys, and some of the other stuff he's done, to read this and connect the dot, because it's just not, it doesn't feel like the same person.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting as a historical thing to look back and be like, this is where he got to start.
Interesting.
I will not be buying more.
Yeah, I kind of stayed away from that for sure.
With all respect, Derek, but then again, from the conversations I had with him, I don't think he's going to take offense to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I had this week. Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show and these awesome merchandise purchases? Merchandising.
You can find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter and the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter. Also at FortressComicNews.com. Everything we do is right there in that handy dandy website, including the link to buy some fantastic merch. We'll also have all those links in the show notes below, as well as everything for our guests this week. The Patreon, everything will be down there for you to check out. So everybody, if you are listening to us, give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever podcatcher you're using, and to give us a thumbs up down below, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you want to go the extra mile, there's Patreon at patreon.com/fortresscomics. That is everything, I believe, for this week. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see y'all here next week.